Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It is Trash Talking Tuesday on Wednesday, Jimmy.
On Wednesday.
Yeah. Again, lacrosse season. Tuesdays and Thursdays are games. So we're kind of forced to,
Yep, well, we're wrapping up, so that's coming to a close
yeah.
here soon, and then on to the next thing, right? So
Yeah. Unfortunately, our lacrosse season hasn't been spectacular.
no, I can't say that it has. It underperformed. I think
Yeah.
a lot of potential and just underperformed. But it's our son's senior season,
Yeah.
and they both did very well.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Yeah. And
Um,
wouldn't. I mean, to the extent possible when you're, really not winning a lot, have had a good time. They both still enjoy the sport.
yeah, for sure.
So, eh, I guess at the end of the day, that's the most important thing
Yeah,
is that they still
yeah.
enjoy it and they still win or lose, they still enjoy going out there and competing.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. I played football in high school, and our team was terrible. But I still have great memories of it. I enjoyed it. I was there with my friends. I got a lot out of it physically and socially. So
yeah.
and the winning wasn't everything, but it's nice when it does come. But yeah,
Hey, I wanted to go and say thank you, and I don't know who I'm saying thank you to, uh, but specific to the show. Over the last week and a half, we have just had kind of an explosion of viewership, and I'm not complaining. I think it's great, and I appreciate it. I'd like to thank everybody who has shared the show or watches the show and continues to watch the show because it is exponentially growing.
yeah,
Um,
I appreciate it. Yeah, new viewership, listenership, whatever it may be.
yeah,
But always happy to hear feedback and engage with anybody and get some
we
get
still
some.
haven't been able to get that liberal to come on though. We just can't.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be liberal, whatever. If you have an opposing viewpoint, could be conservative, but like
Absolutely.
if it's an opposing viewpoint, happy to discuss anything and let's hear it out. Maybe let's get some new information. Let's get corrected, straighten us out on something.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
if you feel like we're wrong about something, just hit us up, and you can do it through email. You can do it through uh, the podcast website. You can do it through uh, well, it was Anchor. Now it's Spotify podcasters, whatever. But it's basically the same page. When you get the link to the podcast, it takes you right to that page. So you can go there and leave a message. You can leave an audio message. You can send uh, you can type a message. You can, like I said, you can send an email to the agpodcast13@yahoo.com. We want to hear it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're doing things to improve, and we're going to talk about that at the end. But we're going to kick it off with a little bit of movie magic this week.
yeah, hey, anything goes. Let's get it started. Let's see, and let us know where we're wrong. Let us know what we can clean up, and we definitely want to engage because
Yeah, we love the engagement.
this
Oh,
isn't just
real
for
quick
us.
before
Yeah.
we get into the movie thing, tonight was supposed to be a live. Anyone who follows the Facebook page, you see that got canceled. Um, so that's going to be rescheduled, hopefully here in the near future. At the end of the day, I'm not really disappointed that it got canceled tonight because we had a very short turnaround to try to figure some things out. But I think we've got those bugs all worked out, and I think it would have been successful. Having said that, this gives us more of an opportunity to kind of work some other things out and bring you the best possible content for that we can. So
And I'm looking for some better weather because it was not
yeah, well,
looking
that's
good. I'm
yeah.
tired of this cold wind, rain, garbage we've had. I don't do well in
We
that
know why they
stuff.
call it May, right?
Why is that?
Because it may be snowing, it may be raining, it may be 70 degrees, it may
Well,
be 20. That's kind of the way the
yeah.
weather goes here for us
No,
in Maryland.
I
So
like to hibernate basically from like November to May.
yeah,
That's for me.
well, except during hunting season.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
November.
I know. Yeah, I'm still a baby.
Yeah, right. Okay, so movie. We're going to talk about a couple of movies and uh, we have some thoughts on some things, and there's actually a couple, Jim, you're going to talk about that I have no idea.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's a topic I kind of wanted to bring up because I'm getting tired of this continuation of this forced diversity in movies, forced and general wokeness in movies, and in the way of forced diversity. Because even one example that if anybody's seen the new Super Mario Brothers movie, and I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but it kind of got touted as being not anti woke, and that some of the movies are refreshing nowadays, just when they're not filled with all this forced diversity and whatnot. But what they did was they changed up, did a little bit of role reversal. And like I said, I don't want to spoil too much in there, but like if you go in there expecting Mario to be the big savior of the day, you're going to be a little disappointed. They Peach is basically the hero of the story,
yeah.
and when she's traditionally the damsel in distress character, they shifted that role to Luigi. Like I said, I don't want to give too much up on that one, but
So basically, the context is the subtleness in which they touted it as non-woke,
yeah,
but subtly what they did was basically made the female character the hero and made the who is originally the hero and savior the basically whatever, the idiot.
yeah, and I mean, and you've seen it a lot, and you see it in commercials all the
Mhm.
time, where the dad is some idiot who always
Right.
needs to be corrected by his kids or his wife. They're always it's either there's so much forced diversity. It's
Yeah.
almost
Well,
always
and
like
look at and commercials are a great example. I actually sat down because I started noticing this probably about 2 years ago, where every single commercial they have either a gay couple, a mixed
right.
couple,
It's got to be
or
mixed race.
the other thing is the white couple that is in a commercial are the idiots, and the black couple are the ones explaining to them how to do it right.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a clandestine way for them to send this message out repeatedly, and now that this is in your heads, you're going to watch commercials, and I guarantee you're going to see that most commercials now that have people in them are going to be set up like that. There was one for like a not necessarily a bank, but like for like some sort of housing loans or something like that, where the white couple is sitting there talking about getting a housing loan, and the black couple goes, "Oh, well, you're not looking at this, and this is so much better, and you're really gonna help your life out, if you do this instead of what you're trying to do." Or another example is like, well, we're trying to figure, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're smart. We're smarter than you. This exists already. You just don't know where to look because we're much more intelligent than you are." So,
yeah,
and that's the kind of thing. And I actually sat down with a piece of paper one day and just marked like how many commercials there were and how many of them had like some sort of subtlety.
yeah, because it makes you feel a little bit crazy. You're like, why? I mean, am I trying to feel a certain way that I'm always looking at this or whatever? Or no, is it an actual
Is an
trend?
actual thing.
It is an actual
Yeah,
trend.
and I think during that day there was like 30 commercials that I watched, and I think like 27 of them that had people in them.
Yeah.
Now they have to have people in them because if it's like an animated thing, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But they had people in them. I think 27 out of the 30 had some sort of demographic switch like that, or some demographic other than just a plain white couple,
Yeah.
or a white person telling a white person, or it's never a white person telling a black person. It's never a white person telling a Hispanic person. It's always the other way around.
Yeah.
So
it just feels so forced, and that's what bothers me. It's like statistical randomness, like totally fine. Like it makes sense for that to occur on occasion or whatever. This is the way it is. But like you're forcing.
Yeah, but 27 out of 30 is not an occasional.
No, you're completely forcing the absolute opposite of what demographics. It's just it's kind of ridiculous. But how we're seeing that in several other movies. We're seeing it in these new Disney remakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen the advertisement for the new Little Mermaid?
No. Well, I take that back. I think I saw it when it initially came out, and I haven't seen it since.
I'm sure there's more factors to it, but obviously they have to have a black Little Mermaid. Like Ariel is
Yes,
now
I
a
did
black
see that.
female, which there's a lot of historical aspects to it that makes it, completely ahistorical, I should say. Not that Little Mermaid is
real, right?
is realistic, but I think where the story is based, it's based out of Denmark, I believe, and they're traditionally it's a white country, especially
it's a Nordic country,
and it just again it feels forced when you're changing an original character. Like I get it, it's fine. There's a new actor, they're playing somebody else, whatever, but it's forced. Make their own story. Why not?
Right.
Why not just make your own story? And it's a distraction. Like I remember I went to Broadway and saw the Harry Potter Broadway show, and they have Hermione as a black woman. And it's funny. It's not just like in one production. It's in all the different productions across the U.S. and in Europe. The Hermione character is always black in those performances, which is strange because it's not just like, oh, we have this very talented actress who plays this character. No, they're trying to keep that consistency, which is strange.
Yeah.
When the books, and so you can even, I think J.K. Rowling tried to come out and say like, oh, well, it never says that she's black, but it effectively, or never says she's not black. It effectively does. I think it comments on like her pale skin and, the type of hair she has, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, it's just a little bit of ridiculous stuff where that stuff feels forced. And again, it's not like I have a problem with these actors or actresses in these positions, but it messes with the story because you're watching it and you're like, this is weird. This isn't right. And so it takes away from what I'm trying to enjoy about the story because you're
focusing on that aspect of it instead of actually focusing on.
And it could be the same way where it's like this tall, skinny guy is now played by this short, fat guy or something. It just will throw you off. And I'm like,
well, imagine them doing a remake of, an old TV show like Good Times, but with an all white family.
Right. I mean,
is that going to carry the...
And that's something that they would do in reverse. I'm sure that's what they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, I know in Game of Thrones, in the new version, the House of Dragons spinoff, they took the whole family that was this traditional house with these white skin and bright white blonde hair, and now they're all black. It's a black family with this blonde hair as well. Yeah, they all have blonde dreadlocks, or whatever. It's just, honestly, like.
Well, and the thing is like,
if it was a whole different group, cool. Awesome.
It's the attempted subtlety of it that is probably more bothersome to me. Like, look, I don't give a shit if a person can act, they can act.
Yeah.
And I feel that way. Skin color or nationality has very little to do with somebody who is a good actor.
Well, we mentioned the John Leguizamo. We talked.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo was complaining that a Latino character wasn't cast to play the Italian
Luigi or Mario.
Yeah, that's interesting, buddy. And he played Luigi. Did you ever? I don't know if you ever saw the '90s Super Mario Brothers movie.
Probably.
I liked it. It was prime for me when I was a kid.
You saying you're that much
ridiculous? Maybe you just missed it. But like I liked it, but it was funny because what if anybody could complain? Like, why are you getting this Latino actor to play this Italian character?
Yeah, I mean
they could say the same thing, and so
I go back to the same thing. If there's not a Latino actor that, let me say it like this: if there's a Latino actor who tried out, and there's a black actor who tried out, and there's a white actor that tried out, and the black actor had the best tryout.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who gets the part.
Well,
that's the way it's supposed to work.
Well, there's certainly a lot more leniency when we're dealing with animation and
right, because it's a voice. It's
voice
not
acting.
Yeah,
you can play whatever. It doesn't, and they I think intentionally didn't have the absurd accents
Right.
in the movie. I don't know if you saw how.
Well,
they
no,
did
because
that.
if they did, they probably would have. That probably would have worsened the criticism, because if it was a white actor, a white voice
Yeah.
actor who was imitating, now he's appropriating, now he's going to get canceled.
Don't
So,
get me started on cultural appropriation.
I know,
Nonsense.
but it would go down that road.
Yeah,
it would undoubtedly go down that
Well,
road.
that's basically what he tried to do with just having white actors play this person. But
Yeah.
it's getting out of hand. I mean, I don't know if you saw something it just fresh in my mind because I just turned on there's a new Peter Pan movie that came out.
Yeah.
I think it's streaming on Disney or something.
Yep.
But all the Lost Boys, well, guess what?
They're all lost girls.
They're not boys. We'll put it that way. There's boys, and it's funny because there's like every single type of representation in there.
Gotcha.
Which I get it. It's just pure. It's wokeness to the full extent to be like we have to enforce.
We have to
inclusion.
appease.
Like,
and listen,
kids don't care, but they
know kids are going to watch it.
There's a Native American girl in there that's a lost boy. I don't remember her in the story.
There was an Indian.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, she seems to be kind of the leader. Honestly, I didn't really watch it a whole lot. But then there's even a Down syndrome character. They have to and good on the actor. Good job. Yeah. But like it's changes up the story so much that it's like this is and it just feels so forced.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem. I mean, there's a reason why Disney is laying off 7,000 or 8,000 people over the next year. I think that they've done, enough damage to themselves through doing this. They just haven't figured out, they haven't had a Bud Light moment yet. But it may very well be coming. I mean, if they continue down this road, because you got to remember when we're talking about these other groups, i.e., transgenders, gay, and all that, you're talking about like 1% of the population. You're talking about like transgender, I think, is like less than 1% of the entire world population that identify as transgender. So why are you trying to cater to them? But they're going out of their way to cater to, I want to say it's like 0.6% of the world population. It might be a little higher than that.
It's definitely trending upward because it's this mental contagion going on because it's being encouraged.
Well, and we look at,
it's a whole different topic.
It is really. But my point being, your fan base for these types of things is not them. I mean, do they watch your movies? Probably. But it's, again, if 0.6% of the population, the world population, is that group, then I would.
You just have to. All you're doing is demonstrating your virtue signal. You're
exactly.
You're proving that you're an ally.
Yeah.
In this grand.
And you know what?
What?
If you didn't advertise, and the problem is how they advertise it too. They advertise it most of the time as, the headline is always first transgender actor portrays role, or first black actor portrays role, or something like that. Just do the movie.
Yeah.
Why do you have the need to not only, you've already cast them in the role, so why do you have to go one step further and make that the issue, like in your advertising?
Yeah.
Don't make it the issue. Just show the fucking movie.
To me, it devalues them as a person. I think if you are highlighting somebody based on their immutable characteristics, it just frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
I get so frustrated with all these special holidays or events that are segregated, and they're just highlighting people on their race,
but they're against segregation unless it's in the other direction.
Just how to continue divisiveness and racism is by continuing to talk about it incessantly.
Yeah.
And it just needs to end.
Yeah, I agree. We have to remember that most of these movies, a lot of these movies, particularly Hollywood movies, are made in California, where that demographic and that acceptance and that wokeness is more prevalent. So, they obviously don't see most of them don't see beyond the borders of California, and we see how well that's working out in places like San Francisco and LA and places like that. I think you got some strongholds there like San Jose that is not they're not so much buying into the bullshit, but these big cities where all the money is, Silicon Valley obviously buys right into this stuff. And so I think that has a lot to do with it is if the place where the movies are being made is 100% in these corners, then that's kind of the product you're going to get. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the culture war is going to continue, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But I really do think that we are going to hit a breaking point. I think that we're going to get to a stage where enough people like actually are awakened, to the insanity of it,
yeah,
and to where these aspects of our nature, I guess, are not important anymore.
right.
And it's probably going to take something pretty severe to kind of realize, like,
Let's throttle back a little bit.
yeah. And if these are the problems in your life that we're just discussing, racism and all the perceived bigotry and all this and that attacks on people, and you have a pretty privileged life, and and it's not white privilege, it's American privilege.
Yeah.
We have it pretty good here.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, better than probably any time in history. Maybe a little bit more recent in American history.
Yeah, well,
a little bit better since I think we're on a downward slope here in a lot of ways, but I think we'll turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, as long as there's people that are still willing to point it out and still willing to, call it what it is in reality. It goes right along with the whole reparations conversation. It goes right along with all the other, the fake conversation of, rights and what they're deeming to be rights and all this shit that they just concoct.
And I think we broached the topic earlier, but like San Francisco, you bring up reparations. I think that's where we're going to see that breaking point first. It's already reaching a point of complete nonsense and unsustainability, and it's going to completely crumble where they're having to where companies and businesses are flocking away from their location, or they're locking down every single item. I don't think that was in San Francisco. I thought it was somewhere else, but like the Target that has every single item in the store behind like lock cases.
Portland.
Yeah, was it Portland?
Yeah.
Portland?
Yep.
I mean, places that's very similar to San Francisco.
I mean, Portland, Oregon is self-imploding. I mean, they're actually, I believe that because of what's happening in Portland with crime, with stores leaving, I think they lost like 2 Whole Foods, like the flagship Whole Foods store was there. It's gone. They've closed their doors. The 2 Walmarts that were there are gone. They closed their doors, and now people are complaining that business is leaving there. Well, I mean, Portland's trying to pass a law right now where if homeless people, or they call them campers, not homeless people, they call them campers. If they camp on your front yard,
you can't do anything about it.
And you go out there and you tell them to leave, and it's deemed harassment, they can sue you for up to $1,000. And you can't force them to leave. You're a property owner, but they're putting this law
where you literally should be able to shoot them.
Yeah, well, exactly. If it came to that,
life, liberty, and property.
But that's the type of ridiculous progressive bullshit that places like Portland and San Francisco and Los Angeles are moving towards. And there's going to be a reckoning, because there's going to be enough people. California, if you listen to Newsom, he says, oh, that's all fake, what people are saying about people leaving business and stuff leaving California. But in the same breath, he's trying to pass a tax measure where anybody who had a business in California for part of the year now has to pay some sort of additional tax because they left. So why would you have to do that if nobody's actually leaving, Gavin?
Yep.
Don't believe your lying eyes. That's pretty much their mantra. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I think you're right. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. We see that with the military advertising now, with the Navy and with the National Guard and with other government agencies who are flaunting out these drag queens and all that, trying to assist recruiting. Again,
that's scary on a whole other level, because you know how weak that makes us appear.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, it's advertising that we are such a weak force.
Yeah.
And we don't have a solid backbone. And with Joe Biden being the leader of that group, we're in trouble.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So talking about the podcast, so we're working on incorporating a bunch of other things, and in other words, so instead of you guys just sitting here watching our ugly mugs the whole time, we're working on the incorporation of video and all kinds of things. We're still working on getting other guests on, and so I think you're going to see, and we want to do that. We want to do things that improve the experience for you all. We want the good content and all those things, and so we're working on a lot of that stuff. I think that we're pretty close. We figured a bunch of stuff out. Even today, we figured a bunch of stuff out. So I hope that the content improvement and the platform improvements that we're going to make.
I think we're definitely going to try to expand our content a little bit, branch out a little bit more, maybe do some additional shorter videos, episodes that incorporate maybe some humor, and other entertainment aspects, in addition to our traditional political conversations.
Yeah.
But let us know what you like. Let us know what you want to see. If there's any topics that are floating out there that you've seen and you kind of would like to see our reaction, and want us to discuss, we can bring it up right here, display it, and talk about it with you. So let us know.
Yeah, and we love doing funny stuff. Now, I'm not going to go out and pull pranks on people and get shot in the stomach. That's just not me. But we love watching just absolutely ridiculous stuff on a whole scope of things. Like,
what's this?
Yeah, exactly. But we love watching stuff like that, and watching like videos and stuff like that, and we'll watch them with you, and then we can get your reaction, and we can react to them and stuff like that. But I think an additional video layer to the show is going to be a huge increase, and hopefully we continue to grow. Like I said at the beginning, I super appreciate, and I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden we've just gotten a ton of viewership, particularly in the last week and a half, and so we're doing what we can to hopefully continue to expand that. Yeah, we do. Thank you very much, and we're going to continue to expand that and continue to work to get better and do those kinds of things. I'm going to be out of town Friday, but I'm bringing my stuff with me, so we don't have a game Friday.
Nope.
So we should be good. I'm going to be at the Rocky Gap Casino hanging out for a few days, but we will definitely do a show from there, and I might even be able to get Megan to sit in on it with me.
There you go.
We'll see what happens, but
I don't know what kind of state she'll be in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on what time we started drinking.
There you go.
But anyway, hey, that's the show for tonight. We will be back on Friday, and we appreciate everything that you guys do to support us, and we'll see you Friday.